Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and we are here for the morning forecast show. What's the morning forecast show all about? Well, every single morning, where is it gone? Here it is. Every single morning we are here to see if it's going to be a thundery day in the markets, if it's going to be one of those sideways moving action days where potentially Bitcoin goes sideways, altcoins go down or they go up, or is it going to be one of those days where we make money? Well, a lot of people have been making money with meme coins over the last few days, and that's one of the things we're going to be looking at in today's show, but their money was taken away from them. Let me go back here and go over. Why has that gone over there? Let me just check one thing. I'm not sure how to do this. Why has this gone wrong? 1 second. Let me close that down for a second. Go over here. That's all okay. Let's go over here. There we go. Perfect. So the meme stocks are all over the place. We've seen a lot of movement in the meme stocks, just like we saw in 2021. It is covered here in our newsletter, and is of course the thumbnail of the show as well. The meme stock mania could be back. We've got a few players now up 50, 100, 1500, or 150%. Potentially 300%. So we're going to be looking at those plays as well. And is SPC being dragged into that meme coin or the meme stock market rallies? It does seem that way, but obviously there is fundamentals behind SPC as well. We're also going to be exploring the fact that Bitcoin, exactly as predicted in yesterday's show, stayed basically sideways, down 1%, up 1%, while the rest of the altcoin market, especially XRP, got a quite a significant correction. Yesterday we were live, XRP was breaking all-time highs. I said Bitcoin dominance needs to have a bounce. That's exactly what has happened. Bitcoin dominance has had a bounce. That meant Bitcoin went sideways while the altcoins came down. I told you the target for XRP was $2.98, basically $3, and that's exactly where we came down to. So let me get into who is in the chat already. I know I apologize for the confusion this morning. Some of you were in the wrong stream. I was having a couple issues, but we're all good, alive, on time. So good morning to all in the family, says David. Thank you, David, for tuning in. Brian says hello. Hi, Brian. Good morning, Sensei, Rooster and all. I love it. Full D. Just bought XRP on the dip. Brian, congratulations to you. I'm so annoyed. I thought I had a buy order at $3 because that was the target I said and I was very confident about yesterday. It even came quicker than expected. I thought I had a leverage position buy order there with a 10x leverage to then sell at $3.15, which would have been, if we look at the chart here, I would have already taken profits by now because the limit order was in place. So that would have been 6%, 10x leverage, 60% move, a 60% gain. However, for some reason, I woke up today, saw the price, I was like, oh, $3.15, great. My position would have been executed and I would have taken profit. Perfect, exactly as predicted. The position wasn't there, no profit was taken, I couldn't see it in my history, and it obviously didn't go through, but the order still wasn't there, meaning it just never... it was never there in the first place. So either I'm going crazy or the exchange just didn't take note of my position and order. So that's a fun thing this morning. Say good morning, my friend. Hello, Nina, Gang 808. Good morning to you. Good morning, senseis. Good morning, Dan. 1 a.m. would have been a good time to buy for sure. Got down to 296. Yes, David, and that's why I had a limit order because I knew it would be overnight. But for some reason, it wasn't there. Morning all. Hope is all as well. GODB, welcome into the stream. Someone who is adding some more shares to Archer at the Open. Thank you for your thoughts. Matthias is here. Welcome into the show. Matthias is still the number one super chatter. Every single day, Matthias, you are up there. Thank you so much for your support. Good morning, everyone. I hear we have a nice gap up this morning. Yeah, the Nasdaq was up. We'll look into that in a second. Good morning, Sensei and Lucasades. Please do hit the like button if you're here. Let's see if we can get everyone into the show. There was a lot of confusion, so here we go. Here's the like button. It'll bring everyone into the show. I bought at 314. I didn't think it would drop much more. Stalled near there for a bit. Thank you, Paul D. Yeah. My target was always $3. And that's what we hit. Hello, Sensei and members. Tim Rogers, lovely to have you in the show. How are you doing today? Do you use Robinhood, says Eddie? No, I don't use Robinhood. Robinhood in the UK is pretty bad because you can't use an ISA, which is sort of the equivalent to a Roth IRA. You can't buy crypto. It's a bit more complicated tax-wise. Everything's in dollars, not pounds, all that sort of stuff. So not really, but I do have Robinhood. I might have changed. I haven't looked at it for a while. I was actually in Robinhood's first consultation in London. I was invited to it over a year ago now, probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when they were looking to bring out Robinhood UK. I went to an event in London. There was about 5-6 of us in the room helping Robinhood, telling them what they should do with the app, helping them understand their customers, all that sort of stuff, before they even rolled it out. And I told them all the stuff they need to do, and they really haven't done many of them yet. Good. Do you use Robinhood? I did 12. Good morning. I bought at 320. Good. Congratulations to you. XRP back at 317 already. Yep. Look at it. It is gaining right now. I don't like meme stocks too much. Too risky. Thank you for your thoughts. 301 was the lowest. No wonder it didn't fill at 3. Eli ET. Nope. My order wasn't even there. It would have got filled 100%. XRP went as low as $2.96. It broke $3, and also my order was just above $3 anyway, because I put out 309 or something like that, just because in case that would have happened, but it didn't happen. And even if I put it at $3, if you look at XRP, it went as low as $2.96. Morning, Sensei. Did I miss anything else? Nope, you're wrong, Eli ET, but thank you for your thoughts. No, not worried. This is the time to accumulate before the real magic happens. Thank you, Steve Mariano. I still think we've got time. I think the target was hit, and depending if we break all-time highs again or not, we might have another rally up and then another correction down to 262. That's not impossible. I do think it's time for Bitcoin dominance to come back up and Bitcoin to go on its next move up. So October is also, sorry, as I was saying yesterday, September is a big month because that's the build up to XRP ETFs. I'm 99% sure in October we'll have XRP ETFs. And I think that's when they'll be approved. I don't think they'll be approved before that. The SEC case can come to an end next week or the week after. That can have a little bounce for XRP. But I don't think the real magic will happen until everyone starts talking about ETFs again, which will probably be in September on the build up to the ETFs announcements. I don't do meme coins either. The same reason. Can't on Coinbase anyway. David, there are meme coins on Coinbase, Shiba, Doge, but today we're actually more talking about meme stocks. Morning, Sensei. Hello, Sensei. I'm with Robin in UK. Not sure how much longer. They take 6 to 7 days to release cash. McKinney, yeah, there's some issues with Robinhood UK for sure. It's always good to have a few exchanges, but I haven't had that issue because I haven't really done much on Robinhood. I haven't tried to withdraw, to be honest, so thank you for giving me a heads up. I had the same issue about Robinhood, about my limit buys on, but I caught that it didn't take them and I was able to pick them up for pick up a few more hundred at $2.99. Well, that's good. Good morning, everyone. Pengu is almost 300x. Thank you, Philip. Is Pengu a stock or a crypto? Pengu. It's a stock. Oh, no. Are you talking about the stock? No. Okay. I don't really care about the crypto. I've never heard of it. Sensei, do you know something about Revolut investing? Tricks? Yeah. Revolut investing. I know that they have different tiers depending on what your card is and stuff like that. People report issues with Revolut all the time, however. Funds getting stuck, all that sort of stuff. But very simple. Thoughts on SBCE? I think it's on a nice sustained rally. I just don't want it to be pulled into the meme stock craze at the moment. So there we go. I sense. So what exchange and how do you leverage? I'd like to buy at a low price and set a sell, but I have no idea. How can you help me? So, Brian, leverage is very risky. Any money you put in, be prepared to lose it. Most people who've never done leverage will spend years losing money with leverage. Leverage is sort of obviously you get liquidated. For example, if you go 2x leverage on a crypto, if it drops 49%, something like that. Obviously, the technical level is 50%, but it's a bit less than that. So if you buy XRP at $3 today, or $3, let's say you bought it at $3 on 2x leverage, if it dropped to $1.55, you will get liquidated. That money's gone. You will never see it back. So there you go. And then obviously people get more risky. So if you go 10x leverage, which is what my position was yesterday, it'll be a quick one. If it goes down 10% or basically 9.5%, you will be, all that money's lost, liquidated, gone. You can never see it again. So very risky stuff. But I don't know how I could help you, Brian. There's an exchange called, which would be the best? Probably KuCoin, maybe. KuCoin, if you have an account with KuCoin, you can go there. It'll be called Futures, I think. Let me have a look. Let me see if I can tell you where it is. Yeah, you have to go on futures, then you choose isolated, and then whatever leverage amount you want. You can go from 1x all the way up to 75x. Obviously, the more leverage, the riskier it is. Then you change it from not a market order, you go to a limit order. You type in the price you want to buy it. You can then press buy, and then you can put your take profit and your stop loss in. Remember, this is not financial advice. You've asked me a question, I'm answering it. So please do not buy or sell based on what I'm saying. And of course, leverage trading is very risky. I don't mind interacting with the comments for a while. We haven't done this in a while, so I'm just going to continue answering all the questions until there is no more questions. Pengu is a Purgy Penguins meme coin. Right, thank you, Adam. Do you know anything about Roku? They are on all TVs now, but the company's stats are not that impressive. Roku, I think Kathy Wood really likes it. Let me go into Arc. Innovate Arc. Is it Roku? I think so. Arc Innovation. Let's go in. Oh no, I've gone into a bike website. I don't want a bike. Arc Invest. I've gone into a bike website. What the hell? Arc Invest. Oh, here we go. Let's go over here. I think Kathy Wood likes it a lot. If we go into their ETFs, invest in ETFs. Where is that ETFs? ETFs. Arc Innovation, their main one. Let's see the holdings. Roku, is that the one you just said? Yeah, so that's 6.7%, their third biggest holding, Tesla, Coinbase, Roku. So obviously they think it's good, and I think they also hold it in their other ETFs as well. Next Generation Internet, I think. Holdings. Yeah, they hold it here as well. It's another 5% of this ETF. So what we can do is try and figure out why she likes it so much, because I agree with you. I've always seen it there. I was like, what's so special about Roku? I've never really seen what they do. So if I go here, Roku, Kathy Wood, we can probably see what Kathy Wood says about it. Where would it be? Roku, Kathy Wood. I'm just trying to answer your question, Eddie Puckett. Let's see if this answers it.
Say that.
Well, Roku, everyone asks, okay, there's a huge transition from linear TV to streaming TV, and what would you invest in, or where would you invest given the $70 billion of linear TV advertising dollars that are going to disappear and go somewhere? Where would you invest? Most people would say Facebook, Google. We would say a lot of people know that. That is no surprise. The surprise is Roku. Roku is becoming the operating system of streaming TV, of connected TVs, and Amazon are in competition, so to speak. But Roku put its own channel. It has started its own channel and is starting to buy content for it. Quibi is one example. It has just moved on to Amazon's platform as well. So we think those two, certainly in the United States, are going to take the lion's share of the connected TV market. And Roku is moving internationally and is finding really good success. And I think that's an upside that many people don't anticipate.
So that was something you just heard. That's her thoughts. I'm going to see if I can find it on Alpha Spread as well. Let me go here. I'm just answering a lot of your questions in today's show, as well as then going on to the meme stocks. Let's see if I can find Roku on Alpha Spread. Roku. R-O-K-U. Here we go. We're having a much more relaxed show today. Let me know if you like it or not. Roku. Let's also have a look at the chart. Roku. Oh, it's been going up quite nicely. Yeah, it had a massive boom in 2021, but now it's consolidating, which is good. Well, Alpha Spread is saying it's overvalued in all scenarios. What else can we have a look at? Revenue's going up, that's good. Yeah, the balance sheet doesn't seem amazing. Assets 4.2 billion, liabilities 1.7. Lots of cash on hand. Solvency score, it's not going anywhere, but the profitability is not amazing right now either. So at least that gives you a bit of a look into that. I think that once the SEC backtracked on the ETF approval is what dumped the crypto to take out the leverage. It could have been a catalyst, but David, it was across the whole market. It wasn't just XRP and the cryptos named. It was basically all of the altcoins. In my opinion, it was Bitcoin dominance was so oversold. Bitcoin needed to take more of the money back from the altcoins. Leverage is not for everyone. You really have to be prepared to lose what you put in. As Sensei said, I use Kraken Pro mostly or KuCoin. Thank you, Matthias. Do you see XRP going sideways from here for a while? Yeah, I saw it. What I said was it will go down to $3 yesterday. It will be bought up quite quickly. And then, probably sideways with obviously some volatile days because it's still a cryptocurrency. Probably sideways, might retest all-time highs, might even break it for a day, come back down. But I would say we'll go sideways pretty much between all-time highs, slightly above it, to about $2.62. Sideways within that range for a month. I don't think August is going to do too much for XRP. That's my thoughts. I could be completely wrong. Do you see any? And remember, as I said, if it starts to get going, that's when it's important. That's why I said $7 in 10 days is possible, because the momentum was there. But as soon as the momentum stopped a few days ago, I said I'm expecting a pullback. So if it all happens again and you get the momentum, everything perfect storm, then seven days, $10 is very possible. But if that momentum fades away, then it's a completely different story. Then you start consolidating, going sideways, breaking out to downside to the upside before you get some more news, some more liquidity, Bitcoin hitting its next target, and then you can go again. So $10 in 7 days was possible a couple of weeks ago. Of course, it's still possible now as well, but the chances are much less because the momentum has faded now. The momentum has stopped. I hope you answered your question, Eddie. I'm investing on Revolut, and for me it's one of the best apps I've used. Simple and good, yes, but just there has been a lot of horror stories with it as well. I think that the SEC backtracked on ETF approval. Yeah, thank you, David. Any thought? I answered Jesse's question. Any thoughts on WeCan Group? WeCan Group, is that a stock? I assume so. WeCan Group. Oh no, it's not. Weekend Group, no thoughts, unfortunately, Stephen. Looking at the charts, and it doesn't really give me too much technical analysis, and go off the market capitalization is 3 million, so good luck. It could be, certainly could 1,000x.
Matthias donated 119 Norwegian krona through a super chat. Phoenix emoji, Phoenix emoji, Phoenix emoji.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix. You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hit your fury and kept it in. But it's time now you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. You burst in a fire.
Thank you, Matthias, for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. That's how these shows keep going. You asked for Phoenix. Here's Phoenix.
From the ashes. Get ready for verse 2, electric boogaloo. You see the truth behind the veil.
If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do hit the like button. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes.
Don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time to light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Thank you, Matthias, for suggesting the song. I really do appreciate it. Let's continue with your comments. Tokenized treasuries, identity on chain, yes, that's a massive thing. COQ in you. COQ in you. COQ EINU. No, COQINU, nothing there. What roller coaster time to lock down? I can't stand Roku versus regular smart. I've never used it, Roger. What's it like? I just tuned in. That sounds like Wood's voice. Yes, it was. We were looking at Kathy Wood's Roku predictions. Hit the like button, says Brian. Eddie says thank you. Roku commanded around 39% market share of US OTT CTV devices, down from 55% in 2023. Wow, that's a pretty hefty market share. That's the thing, it's unpredictable at this point. Any news could set us off in either direction. Yeah, that's why I think the big news is the ETFs. That's the biggest news we'll get all year for XRP. And that's coming, in my opinion, in October. The build up for that, in my opinion, is coming in September. So September is when people will start buying the news. They might sell the rumor on the day. And remember, same thing happened with Bitcoin. Everyone bought the rumor, sold the news on the day. A week later, the bull market started, and it just kept going on and on and on. So there we go. Well, I'll just continue to keep stacking XRP. That's what I'm doing. I'm holding long term. Good morning. Can you check Archer? TRIX. We only do sort of chart requests for our members. If you want to become a member, here is the membership link. If you become a member today, I'll definitely have a look at it. I have started researching dividend plans to build passive income. Oh, cool, Eddie. Yeah, I do like the idea of dividend investing, but there's also growth stocks have really outperformed the amount you get from dividends in the last, 10, 20 years. But it's always a good idea. I don't know, depending on your situation, dividend investing, getting a nice income every month. But growth stocks, I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that growth stocks have completely outperformed dividend stocks, even in terms of the dividend you get as well. SPX, best song on the stream, thank you. Have you touched BKSY? Just curious. No, I haven't. It seems like if ETH gets above 3,750, alts will take off, but it looks like it doesn't. But it looks like it doesn't like that number. Thank you, Jesse. Where were we? 3,750. Let me have a look at that number. 3,750. Why have you picked that number? It's been above that number this week. It's Phoenix, the name of the song. Eddie, dividends for passive income is excellent. It takes time to build a healthy portfolio. Yeah, exactly, Tim Rogers. You need a significant portfolio to get a nice passive income. I don't know, what is it like? You probably need 500,000 invested or something like that to be getting over $1,000 a month, something like that. Looks like we just entered into extreme greed. It looks like we entered into extreme greed on the fear index. Why would we have entered extreme greed on the fear index? Greed and fear index. Greed. Oh, you were talking about the stock market or the crypto market? Greed. Because I wouldn't say we're doing that in the crypto market. We're just in greed in the crypto market, not extreme greed. Maybe you'll talk about the stock market. Two Bitcoin owners sold where holding since to... Yeah, that definitely could have had a big impact on the market. But remember, Bitcoin didn't move that much. What is up with Brazil and the company Vert? Have you heard anything? No, I haven't, Matthew. Jesse said, I really like XDX and also IOTA. IOTA looks great. I have heard good things about IOTA. They just went live... Their life after making money. They just want to live their life after making money. Yeah, fair enough. Nothing wrong with taking profits. 59% of the US streaming households use Roku, either through Roku devices or Roku powered TVs. And here in the UK, Now TV also runs on Roku's operating system. Thank you, Tommy Tinkler. I did not know that much about Roku, and I didn't know why she was so bullish on it because I've never really heard of it in the UK. But you're saying one of our Now TV here in the UK runs off it. Had no idea. And I'd had no idea 59% of the US streaming households use Roku. That is great information. Sensei, have you or anyone else heard about ABA or OCC opposing and fighting Ripple and Circle banking? Yeah, that is happening. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. They can fight it all they want. It's going to happen. Reading as listening. Great job on newsletter. Perfect time to promote. Just saying. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't got the newsletter link, it is pinned in the top of the live chat. First link in the description. Please go check out the newsletter. 15 years before I reach full retirement, so I have time for them to build. Eddie, time is your friend. You can build dividend stocks with stock appreciation growth. Be growing it, and then when the time's right, stick it in dividend portfolio and you can get your income. XDC, but I'm sure as Tim Rogers would say, always good to talk to a financial advisor. XDC says, Jesse, thank you. Stock market XDC, not XTX. When will the SEC back down, and what happened yesterday with the ETF? So yesterday, what happened with the ETF was an ETF was accepted by the SEC. It was, I forgot which company it was, but it was basically the top 10 crypto ETF, Bitcoin, Ethereum 90%, and the rest split between another 8 cryptocurrencies, including XRP. Then hours later, if you go onto the newsletter, you can read the full story. But then hours later, they stopped it. They said, we're going to... you can't launch it until we give you further approval. So then they took it back, just like the last one. So that's what's happening with the ETF, not directly an XRP ETF, but XRP was being held within that ETF. So that's what happened with that. When will the SEC back down? I would imagine, as I said, next week probably, if not some point next month. But I think it will happen soon. It's been long enough now. Good morning, Sensei, and all happy Thursday. Okay, thankfully we've gone through all the comments. There we go. So let me go on to the story of today. We've got about 23 minutes. So let's talk about the meme stock surge. I'm sure some of you have heard about this going on. The summer of 2025 has brought a sharp revival of meme stock enthusiasm, reminiscent of the 2021 GameStop AMC phenomenon. But with new names and evolving tactics, over just a few weeks, retail-driven buying frenzies have sent shares of a handful of embattled, heavily shorted companies soaring. Standout players in the latest episode: Kohl's, KSS, the department store chain facing mounting business challenges, saw its share price jump 38 to 50% in a single day after social media-fueled buying campaigns targeted its high short interest. Opendoor Technologies. To be honest, I quite like it when this happens. I like it when these companies that are struggling, and then all these big institutions are there shorting these companies, and then people are just like, we're just retail investors, but we can make you lose billions. You know what? Fair enough. It's an open market. People can do what they like, and these legacy companies that are shorting these poor businesses going out of stock with big short positions, and then the retail market just comes and says, we still have some control as well, and then they come in and short it. Fair enough. They come in and just buy it. Fair enough. Opendoor Technologies, the online retail estate platform, rocketed over 300%, peaking around $5, less than $2 just a week earlier, driven largely by viral posts and speculative community interest.
Tim donated $5 through a super chat. Sensei, enjoying your morning shows. Keep up your excellent work as always.
Tim Rogers, thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate comments like that. It really does make my day. Thank you so much. And also thank you for donating with your hard-earned money, Tim Rogers. Also appreciate that. We did that one. Is donating the right word? Donating? I guess you are donating, but I'm not a charity. I don't know what the right word is. Thank you for gifting with your hard-earned money. Krispy Kreme. Also, DNUT is the ticker. With over 32% of its shares sold short, Krispy Kreme became a memeable favourite after surging 27% in a day and attracting a torrent of social media attention despite ongoing business struggles. GoPro, once a hardware darling, GoPro shares have soared as much as 70% intraday, fueled by high short interest and viral coordination on Reddit and StockTwits, even though fundamentals remain weak and long-term trends are negative, and that was up 70%. So why these stocks? High short interest. Most targets are highly shorted, allowing coordinated retail buying to trigger rapid short squeezes as hedge funds are forced to cover losing positions. Platforms like Reddit, Wall Street Bets, and StockTwits amplify squeeze narratives, often supported by viral posts. Momentum and herd behavior. These stocks are not rallying because of improved business perspectives. In most cases, fundamentals are deteriorating. Instead, the moves are driven by psychology, viral attention, and echo chamber of retail trading apps and social media. Leverage and options. Increased options trading activity, especially call buying, may be fueled by so-called gamma squeezes, adding volatility as market makers hedge their exposures. There's a table of some of the short interests and some of the companies I made. So why now? Record equity indexes and crypto highs, with major indexes at all-time highs and cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum rallying sharply. Risk appetite is elevated. Some retail money is rotating out of big tech into speculative corners. Lower perceived risk. Crowded traders. Investors' recent wins have bred a sense of invulnerability among retail traders, encouraging crowd speculation and less caution than in prior years. Algorithmic targeting. Unlike the 2021 episode, this cycle is more data-driven, with retail investors using sentiment analytics and short interest trackers to coordinate squeezing opportunities. So what does that mean? Market froth and volatility. The meme stock surge is a symptom of frothy risk trading, raising concerns about speculation at the tail end of a major bull run. So that is something to take away. Remember when those meme crazes came and went a few months later, or by a year later, we were in a bear market. So keep that in mind. Risks for retail. As before, the gains are speculative but fleeting. Many meme names have already plunged 30% within a day of their spikes. History from 2021 suggests many will end with massive retail losses. If you're going to be engaging this, remember, you're probably going to lose money. Structural market change. Stock media has changed the rules of market engagement. Retail crowds can now move stocks and with speed and magnitude unheard of just a decade ago, but the underlying investment companies often remain fundamentally weak. So will it continue? Bubble dynamics. Momentum and hype remain the primary drivers. Analysts caution that just in 2021, the lack of fundamental support means these rallies are likely to fizzle as quickly as they begin. Regulatory scrutiny. Heightened market volatility and potential manipulation are drawing increased attention from regulators, which could dampen future activities if new rules emerge. Temptation and memory. Retail's appetite for high stake bets persist, but memory fades. With each new round carries a fresh crop of winners and many more losers. So that's going on at the moment. In the last day, it sort of faded. It might come back. If you're participating in it, be careful. It's going to be a volatile journey. By the end of it, it's probably going to be lower than it is today. But there is certainly money to be made if you're early enough. But we'll keep an eye on it. And once we start doing the trading challenge, maybe I start buying into some of these companies or some of these trends. Because at the end of the day, it's however you make money, as long as it's legal. It's money at the end of the day. So whether you like buying cryptos, whether you like buying really low cap cryptos, whether you like buying fundamentally good stocks or terrible stocks that are up 50%, at the end of the day, it's about have you made money. Obviously, there's more sensible ways and more guaranteed ways of making money, and there's more risky ways and more stupid ways of making money. But we cannot fault someone who's just gone out there yesterday and made 300% on a meme stock. Fair enough to him. Congratulations to him. Whoever that was, probably many people. And maybe I'll do it in the trading challenge. I am thinking of starting a portfolio, I don't know, throw some numbers in the chat, $2,000, $2,500, 5,000, probably not 5,000, 2,500, 1,000, 2,000, let me know. Trying to get it up to 200,000, $1 million in the future. So I'm thinking of doing that live from the show. So just trying to figure out the logistics and what platform to go for. But apart from that, I'm pretty set on the idea. Let me know in the comments. Martyn's got this ready for us as well. Martyn is going to be going live for the EBC rate cuts, which they're not going to cut rates. They're going to keep it the same for the first time in a while. We do have the story here as well, but Martyn will be covering it live because what they say is even more important than what they do. It's in the newsletter today. You've got the story over here. No, not that one. Where is it? I did talk about this. Did I not put it in the newsletter? Oh, there it is. Where's my ECB story? ECB. Oh, I'll put it down here. Interest rates and press conference. Yeah, I didn't put it as a main story because it wasn't too big of a story. Central banks likely to keep the rates at 2.15% and 2% deposit, with President Lagarde expected to signal data dependence amid heightened tariff growth and risks. The Thursday's ECB meeting offers crucial guidance for euro assets, while another pause is consensus. Trade tensions and weak data may drive dovish signals or forecast revisions. Markets are highly sensitive to any hints of September moves or resumed QE. So that is what's important. What are they going to say in that meeting? And Martyn's going to be covering it live. Let me go through a few bits of the newsletter as well. So the one big thing today is the crypto market experienced a sharp sell-off in the past 24 hours, with more than 735 million in liquidations, primarily impacting long positions as leverage traders were flushed out. With Bitcoin's proven resilience slipping only around 1%, altcoins witnessed much steeper declines, with several major like Ethereum, XRP, Solana dropping around 4 to 10% or more, highlighting a pronounced rotation out of riskier digital assets. Ethereum nearly saw 200 million in liquidations, Bitcoin's compared to Bitcoin's relatively mild move. The volatility leaves traders focused on whether the abrupt shift signals broader correction or simply an extensive shakeout of speculative excess. Watch Bitcoin dominance chart. When this hits when it hits key targets or shows oversold conditions, Bitcoin often outperforms altcoins, a prime signal to rebalance your crypto positions, which is exactly what we did yesterday. We've got Tesla's earnings yesterday wasn't the best. Tesla posted its steepest revenue decline in over a decade, with Q2 25 sales dropping 12% year over year to 22.5 billion, missing Wall Street's 22.74 billion forecast. There's a lot of Tesla news there. If you are a Tesla investor, you want to read that article. EU-US posed for a 15% tariff truce. Again, Brussels is moving to accept a 15% baseline US tariff on most European exports, mirroring Washington's recent pact with Japan. In a draft agreement circulated to EU ambassadors late Wednesday, the deal would prevent a looming 30% blanket levy that President Donald Trump has vowed to impose on European goods starting August 1st if talks collapse. EU trade chief is set to speak with US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick today, while member states have signed off on a $109 billion counter-tariff list to activate August 7th if negotiations fail. Diplomats say categories like aircrafts, timber and select farmer products could avoid duties, but a 50% steel tariff remains unchanged. Markets respond positively with the stock 600 up 0.6% and auto stocks surging roughly 3% on optimism for the trade de-escalation. The truce would avert the worst-case tariff shock for EU exporters. European automakers alone shipped 38.9 billion worth of vehicles to the US in 2024, still locking in 15% tariff squeezes profit margins and leaves plenty of tension in the transatlantic relationship, with Brussels' 93 billion retaliation package signalling that a renewed trade clash remains possible. Both sides face pressure to finalise the deal quickly, given the August deadlines and the potential economic fallout from escalating trade barriers. It's looking good, I imagine, but this August the 1st deadline is now... is it August the 1st? So August the 7th deadline is... August the 1st, is coming up quick. And if there's no deal, if there's still no deal with Canada, Mexico, EU... the volatility can come back very quickly. Matthew, what do you mean Ripple is expanding their ecosystem by activating 2 new accounts worth 1.4 billion? What do you mean by that? We saw the Alphabet earnings live with Martyn yesterday. If you want the breakdown of what happened, it's in the newsletter. We've also got Trump visiting Federal Reserve Washington headquarters at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, which is today. So the first such appearance by a sitting president in nearly 2 decades, according to the White House schedule released late Wednesday. The visit follows weeks of sharp criticism directed at Fed Chair Jerome Powell for maintaining the policy rate at 4.25 to 4.5% and overseeing a headquarter renovation that which cost has surged to 2.5 billion from 1.9 billion. Trump has called for the rate cuts of up to 300 basis points, drafted a dismissal letter for Powell, and this week labelled him as a numbskull. The pressure campaign is already nudging markets. The 10-year Treasury yield rose 1 basis point to 4.4 ahead of the visit, and Thursday's tour, rarely open to the press, will be closely scrutinised for any remarks that could influence policy expectations. Analysts warn that Trump's direct involvement threatens the perception of central bank independence. Any indication that Powell could be ousted or coerced into deeper cuts could stoke volatility across interest rates, the US dollar and rate-sensitive equity sectors. Look, my personal opinion on all of this is it's a terrible idea. My thoughts are the whole point is for it to be independent. So, look, you can say whether Fed Jerome Powell is acting politically or not, but the fact that Trump is getting involved to such a severe extent is obviously political. So, two bads don't make a right. So, you want the Federal Reserve to be completely independent. That's what the whole point is. And if you start getting involved, markets will hate that, in my opinion anyway. If Fed Jerome Powell gets fired, markets will hate that. Fed Jerome Powell has, in my opinion, done a pretty good job. I don't know about all this renovation stuff. I don't like the sound of it. But in terms of keeping inflation down and bringing inflation down, he's done a good job. Labour markets are doing well. So he's brought inflation down without affecting employment and unemployment, which is pretty good job. So bringing rates down has actually, statistically in the past, when he brought the rates down quite quickly, it actually took up mortgage rates and stuff like that. So you need to be careful. Just reading the headlines isn't brilliant. Rates down, everything amazing. Rates down over time in a controlled manner is good for the economy if inflation is under control, etc. But just bringing it down for the sake of bringing it down when nothing is really breaking is certainly not a good thing. And worst of all is political involvement in an independent body like the Fed is not good. That's my thoughts. You can scrutinise me in the comments. Let's have a look at your comments before we go over to Martyn in just a few minutes' time. Matthew, I don't know what you mean by activating 2 new accounts. Sense, do you think Bitcoin will be the new gold standard? Who knows? I'm not the biggest fan of Bitcoin, but I think it will go to $1 million. So if that means it will be the new gold standard, then yes. I'm a big fan of the FTOL sector, most of all Archer. Well, you need to talk to Vaz. Oh, you do know Vaz. Any thoughts, Vaz, for today? I can't see any fundamentals fueling it at the moment. I think it'll be quiet until earnings unless we got an update on flights or something more casual. Hey, Vaz, how you doing, mate? I think that's true. Arch earnings, they moved it to an early date, and the same thing with Joby. No date is confirmed yet for Archer, says Vaz. Any news for Ripple dropping the SKs? No news yet. Good morning, Sensei. Can you please look at IBRX? We can have a quick look. IBRX. Yeah, still that bullish divergence. You haven't really acted on it yet. Still looking pretty good. Target first, $3.50, break that, then it's $4.20, $5, $7. So it's looking good. You've got that bullish divergence, which is a good indicator. Ripple initiated 2 new accounts on the XRP ledger. I don't even know what that means. I know obviously but I don't understand the implications of that, to be honest, off the top of my head. Firstly, I don't know if it's true. Secondly, I don't know the implications. I don't think there is any implications. 7th, we will cover this. I'll be doing a live special. Yes, Vaz is going to be covering all the after hours, EVTOL, all the any aerospace earnings you guys want, as long as they're after hours. Vaz will cover it, and the main ones, Archer, Joby, vertical, even if they're in the pre-market, Vaz will also cover it. I think it was 23rd. I don't think Archer would put their earnings on the same day as Joby. They're usually within a couple of days apart. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Imagine that, Vaz. You've got 2 earnings you need to cover in one session. I expect all 3 to bring us some breakthrough updates. We want to know what he did with his $22 billion renovation. It's the American people's money. We want to know if any fraud took place. Yeah, of course. That's why I said I'm not too happy about that. Even though I'm not an American citizen, I just don't like seeing money being wasted when a million of different things can be used. There could be a million different uses for that money. There's enough problems within the US that money could be used for. Stay tuned. I'll be doing some preview shows next week. We look forward to it, Vaz. When H bar is bouncing between 0.23 and 0.25, would you consider that as a holding support of 0.25, or is this more of a signal that we're going downwards, in your opinion? Not fine. Matthias, that's a great question, by the way. Really good question. That means you are understanding the charts. Look, it's hard to say. It depends what time frame you're looking at. If you're looking at it on a weekly time frame, a lot more long-term view, well, you don't have the data yet. You don't know, because it's all about where these candles close. And if you're looking at 0.25 or something like that, the candle is below it right now. Oh, I'm not even showing you the screen. The candle is below it right now on the weekly time frame. But by the end of the week, if it closes above it on the long-term view, you're fine. But if you're trying to guess in the shorter time frames, for example, you go to the 3-day time frame, then you've already broken it, and you are looking that you've retested $2. You're below 25 cents, meaning right now you're below resistance. You have to look at what's going on right now in front of your eyes. Right now, your 3-day candle broke below it. That's not going to change. And if you go to the daily candle as well, say the same story. The candle closed below 25 cents. The next candle right now is retesting 25 cents. Right now, as we're looking at the chart, it's bearish. As you're looking at the chart, you're below resistance, meaning you'd start looking at your next targets, which will be 22 cents. If you're looking at it on such a small time frame, you're going to be looking at your next targets, which is 22 cents. Once that breaks, is there anything else? Not really. Then it's 20 cents. So you need to look at it as you're looking at the chart, but remembering that the candle you're looking at right now is also not closed. So by the end of today, this candle could be closing back above 25 cents, and that could be a fake out, and then you need to look at it again. Now we're looking bullish. There's nothing wrong with flip-flopping your ideas around, but based on the chart. So right now you are bearish, you are looking at 22 cents, 20 cents next. If that breaks, then you're looking at 18 cents. And then it goes down. If you're looking at even smaller time frames, you broke 25 cents, you already had the follow through, you got oversold, you're coming back, you might retest, and then the target is there, 22 cents once again. If that breaks, then you're going lower. You always just have to look at what you can see in the moment and not try and predict the future too much, because if it changes, you can change your position. Like XRP, USD. Like here, we're above all-time highs. Amazing. The momentum's there. $7, 7 days, $10 is possible. The momentum was there. We were in a parabolic phase. Then the parabolic phase started fading away, so we got a bit more cautious. And then what happened? We were still above all-time highs, so we're still bullish. But then the candle closes below $3.40. The momentum was fading. The parabolic trend ended. So then the idea of 7 days, $10 faded. As soon as you broke all-time highs, at that moment, is important, you realize now we are looking bearish $3, because you're looking at what's in front of you. You broke $3.40. What's in front of you? The candle's below it, and now I am bearish until the next target, which is $3. Now you hit your target. Perfect. What's the idea here? Well, probably you could trend back up to $3.40, but most likely, knowing what's happened before, you're probably going to trend between these two levels. But $3 support, you buy. Resistance, you fall below, then it's a short position, for example, or you just know it's going to go lower. But just look at what's in the moment. Don't try to overcomplicate it too much. Happy Thursday all. Who's adding to their XRP? I think a lot of people did. We're going to end the show now and go straight to Martyn. Let me just see if there's any other important questions. Good morning, Sensei. Could you please look at IBX? Let me pin Martyn's comment. Let me close this as well. We're going to end the stream and go over... Oh, he's already pinned it. Perfect. Let's end the poll. We'll cover this. Perfect. I hope I answered your question, Matthias. I offered some interesting aerospace earnings in my Saturn newsletter. More to come. Yes, do check out the Saturn newsletter. Vaz always does do a great job on that. Bullish data, brilliant. Okay, can you hold? Okay, we're going to go over to Martyn. What was the support of Ondo? Great explanation, thank you. No worries, Matthias. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're live every single morning. Thank you to Matthias. He's the top all-time super chatter and the top session super chatter. A great support of the show. The sound is playing up. Just refresh. We're going to go straight over to Martyn. Here is the link to Martyn's show. He's going to be covering the ECB, a big moment right now. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Here is the link. Go straight there. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.